What are the Moors then?
The Israelites.
This is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
See, so yet this day we're still here in captivity.
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Subject to payments. Why? Because they're iniquity of our fathers.
And is this why we've got this whole impressionating of, or not even just the concept of now. When I try and speak to another black woman that's with a white guy, just say hi sister. They told me that I'm not supposed to speak to my sister. I'll say hello to another black woman and hi sister, and the white guy will be like, you don't know her.
Why are you saying that?
Because of like, as if to say that they've taken ownership over women out here, and I'm like, what type of rubbish is that? That's the conversation, because first of all it was a conversation where the black men were saying that black women were ignoring them. Now we've got a system where actually black women are walking on their own and they cannot say hello to other black women. And I said, what type of rubbish is that? Since when did we fall into that oppression?
But you know, the so-called black woman respects the so-called white man.
Oh, well then that's
why?
where,
because he's in power.
Yeah, of his financial.
He's in power. And the so-called black man is not in power. So the so-called black woman doesn't respect him.
And then she's actually trying to find favour.
Yeah, that's Deuteronomy 28 verse 56.
Deuteronomy 28 and 56 verse says, the tender and delicate woman among you,
so the so-called black woman,
which would not venture to set her sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
Right. Her eye shall be evil towards her husband. She's black. That's what's happening.
And what about the Willie Lynch letter?
Her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards the young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear.
Yeah, so even the black woman, her eye is evil towards her own
child. That's what I was saying. That's well, I'm not saying I'm innocent of that. But I said, there you go then. So it has been mastered in that way. Which is why when you say hi sister, it's like even if you have the white man at home,
What you know about the white? He's the devil according to the Bible.
Listen, it's like
according to the Bible,
they're
the devil. Right? So you have to understand that also. Because the earth itself has been given into their hands. Anyway, the point is that listen, the so-called black woman. Read that part again. Read that again.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 56 again. The tender and delicate woman among you, which will not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter.
Right, because once upon a time, so-called black woman was female. But now she's become more like masculine.
And the woman thing, they'll say that all those kind of things that to demasculate the man. She doesn't need the man. She's now working in the city. She's now driving a big car. Whether the white man's there or not, she's made it for his role. And now she actually despises her own child, like you said. And that's why I was like, yeah, be with whoever you want to be with. But what's the context of me hating you when you come from me? Like, what type of rubbish is that? That don't make no sense to me. That is a curse within itself. If I can keep going around that much, and then all of a sudden, if I have a lighter child, I love that child more than just the concept of me coming from West Africa to Jamaica and then staying here and never had gone there before.
But see, now you're understanding why the so-called black woman is like the way she is, because it's in the Bible. It's letting you know why she's like that. So now you're understanding more. You have a more understanding spirit towards it. So you might be angry, but now you understand it. Why it's like so.
So this is going to keep going on until the
Sharitans, our Messiah. That's what you have to be looking for. He's going to come and set everything brand new again. What do we have? Give me St. Luke 1 verse 68.
Come on.
We're going to show you how is all this madness is going to end. Right?
It looks pretty destructive.
Luke 1 and 68, you said, yeah?
Because there's hope. There is hope. And it's a good thing that you're still concerned, because there's a lot of sisters that they just gave up. They gave up. It's a good thing you're still concerned. Come on now.
Luke 1:68, yeah?
168.
Right, Luke chapter 1 verse 68. Blessed is the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
So there is salvation for us.
Yeah.
You know?
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies, from the hand of all that hate us.
Read that again.
That we should be saved from our enemies, from the hand of all that hate us.
That we should be saved from our enemies. You hear that?
Yeah, but a lot of people seem to be short-minded about what an enemy is. You know, sometimes when you're in church and they'll just tell you, oh, but the enemy, but it's like,
So Jacob has enemies. Jacob is our people, right? The tribes of Jacob. We have enemies, which are the other nations. We need to be saved from them. Because the other nations hate us. They look down at us, they have no respect for us.
which is why I was saying that they're now walking around with, as if to say that they could just take the DNA and strike it out. And I said to myself, how would I be walking that much and God would turn around and say, you better open up your eyes to the wickedness.
Right.
Because it's not like I grew up here until the North Moroccan guy licked me down and tell me how, oh yeah, but I'm African. And I was like, because you're telling me not to speak to children that look like me. And he had a problem with it. For me to actually save them from killing each other or whatever it was. And I said, that is the devil that works in that situation. And then by the time I called the police actually drove up. They wouldn't take me. My lip was bleeding. Drove up in a van and swore at me, the white guy. I said, because obviously he's not assisting me. And I'm saying to myself, that just goes to show the mentality of where they're at.
Psalms 83 from verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Who hates God? Mainly mainly the so-called white man.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be the new God, but I'm
Indeed.
saying that's not how it goes for me.
We're in a system that
Yes.
where people are atheists.
Yes, I realise that.
Don't believe in
And
God.
then they even test you in the principles of that and strike you down if you don't want to stand with what they believe.
Let's listen to what the scriptures say. Come on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
So who are the most? They've taken crafty counsel against God's people, which is us.
and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
So it tells you the tabernacles of Edom, which are again the so-called white men. You understand? Because the word Edom means red. Red, or Adam which means red. So the so-called white man, they're not really white, they're red. They're rednecks.
Yes, I've heard that part as well in America, and then they'll talk about bigger things. But then why are they bring, well, I guess this is where they bring their political right-wing stuff and they start telling people down. Because we've got other groups of people and they are having African children, but they're saying that they want to keep African children down.
There's no such thing as a child.
wrong. They okay, Africa. What was it originally called? Because it was this name
Land of Ham.
coming out the language of
Not
these
not
people.
everybody in Africa is the same.
No. And I actually believe that even when I'm going around that much, for however many years now, that now we've got a definition of what is the so-called black whatever. And I think this is why it's getting destructive now.
Like, you have Ethiopians and Sudanese people. So Somalian people.
And they look-
we're not the same as them.
No, but they understand themselves more and they look the way they look. Now all of a sudden people have gone out of their way to supervise us to look like them.
And what I'm trying to say is to talk about like I don't know if you're Ghanaian or Nigerian or something like that.
I'm West African and Caribbean. But I'm not supposed to be worried about the white woman being in competition with me to be of the existence of who I am whilst walking around with a child that looks like me. And there's a lot of nonsense going on in one setup. And that's what it's like, it's that hatred type of conversation that's going on. You love your mother, but at the end of the day, whether you love your mother or not, you understand the true origins of how you came about. And whether it was through the blessing of your mother, with a
The seed of our father.
yes, they see, because maybe I'm looking at it from
Because you're looking at like I was a woman gave birth to me,
yeah.
but now sperm is like tadpoles.
Okay, yeah.
So when a
Have
man
you son? Like there's a whole heap of tadpoles, but some of them are not well. Some of them have
when
been
a man
infected.
he ejaculates those tadpoles inside of him. So life really comes from a man.
Oh, see, that's a new teaching. You see how probably in this teaching, I think I was still the other way around.
Say something about the Bishop. If you was to look at a woman's ovaries under a microscope, do they move?
No, they're in two boxes.
If you look at a man's sperm under a microscope, does it move? The life comes from the man.
No.
See how, God bless you, sister. Look after yourself. I told you.
I'm trying to look after us.
I know.
No, but I just don't like the violation that takes place when black women are walking around. Like that was an experience where I don't know if you grow up in this area. And I'm saying to myself, that just suggests that they think that they can put their hands on any African person now.
Never mind that. Come on.
I was going to say, you seem to have a lot of care for the so-called black woman, but you have no empathy for the so-called black man. Not once have you talked about the oppression that the black man is under.
I believe the reason why because they've taken the covering that well, that now when we war, they're like, we've got this thing of, they kind of like let us down. But yeah, it is going on, it's
Were
created.
you for the black man let you down?
No, I'm not saying me personally, but I'm saying that.
Keep on.
No. Because at the end of the day, no. I just feel like a lot of them have been stricken down in different ways. And now it's a case of, we're battling between these girls, stay with your mummy, never walk behind your mummy. And, girls are now questioning what their future is out here.
Your salvation depends upon the so-called black man.
Oh, that's a new thing. I always that he's in a bondage, a sexual bondage. You can't call him back from that sexual bondage. If he's elsewhere, then I can't call him back.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the ones that are here today. If they are busy with other nations of women, you can't go around calling them back.
Why are you focusing on them?
It's not focusing, but you're saying that I need them to be able to myself. Well, then it's tragic for a lot of black women because now they're opted out.
The reason she should be saved in childbearing.
Yep.
She shall be saved in childbearing.
Okay, do you know what? I'll ask you something. When I went to the Doctors Museum, you know the image, am I not your brother in chains? Do you know that one? They put am I not your sister in chains? And they said you will have no language, you will have, your people will be scattered, and something along the lines of, you have no music.
I hear what you're saying. It seems like you're focusing on you see a lot of so-called black men running off with women of other races.
Yes, I don't know if that's the signs of distinction towards where...
Yeah, but you have to understand, say if that man was to impregnate that woman.
It's been going on.
Wait there, come on now.
As much as I have a God,
Come
and I
on
can
now.
walk around that much.
I know you don't
and they
like
can
it.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's there's
You
something
don't like
about
it. You don't-
no.
you don't.
There's something about the aspect of why should African women be walking around as if to say that they're not fruitful. And this is why I'm starting to say that now in society the display of black women being unfruitful unless they sow the seed with other cultures, it's like they're being backed up into a corner about the fact that they can't get the help or they can't help each other together in the struggle of confusion and destruction.
So you don't like it?
Listen, it's not a case of I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I'm not going to say that. I might have been given some opinions towards not liking it or not wanting to like it. Listen, if people say that they want to love each other, let them love each other. But why is it when we have an image like this of a man being deceitful?
Don't like it.
I'm not going to say I don't like the segregation. I don't like the segregation. I don't like the segregation. No, because I don't want to be hypocritical. I don't like the segregation of a black woman being segregated amongst other black women to feel like she has to walk with these other people.
Listen,
and
when
then
I
all of a sudden when they tell you,
said, when you see a so-called black man with a woman of another race,
yeah,
you had an attitude.
I can't save them.
You had an attitude.
I might have. Do you know why? Because there's been a lot of contention between the idea of that the black woman is
But
put on
what
the shelf.
I want to say is that if that man impregnates that woman, the child that come out is an Israelite.
Still of us.
Yep.
Still our people.
Yes, I
But
get
now,
that.
if you, so for example, a so-called black woman, an Israelite woman, you lie in bed with a man of another race.
That becomes something different then.
Ah.
And that's why I said that now, yeah, I'm glad you showed me that, because
See?
someone else was trying to show me that. And they said to me that it could be dishonoring as well.
Yeah.
It's very dishonoring to your creator. So as much as you want to love who you want to love, do what you want to do, dress up however you want to dress up, just like how this one is dressing up, pretending to be a woman. There's something about when you dishonor your creator, there are curses that come with that as well.
Right.
And that's why sometimes when people don't stay together or it doesn't work out, who are they going to cry to?
That's what it says this. It says, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Hear that? The offspring of him, meaning a man, not of a woman. So, so don't pay so much focus on so-called, those so-called black men that give off for so-called women of other races and that. You know what I mean? Don't pay so much focus on that. Try to pay more focus on brothers that are teaching this word. Okay? Because the Lord is only looking for a remnant of his people. He's not trying to save all his people.
I realize that that's not something
The
that can
majority
be
of our
done.
people are going to die. The majority of our people are going to die. Right? And you have to consider that. You got to consider that. Right? The majority of so-called black people, they're condemned. It's finished for them. They don't want to do what's right. They want to do
Because
what's
I'm
wrong.
saying, we're walking up and down one road.
So fuck them. So fuck the majority of your people. I know you might love them. I know it might be vexing when you see the things that they're doing. But fuck them.
For the sake of the children.
Right? Come on now, you have something.
Yeah, this is 1 Timothy 2 verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity with holiness and sobriety.
Right, so that's how a woman is saved in childbearing. Childbearing of an Israelite.
But they're actually saying that black women are more likely to die on the birthing table. And I'm saying, is that enough for you? Clean us up?
Well, that goes back
Great
to
to have
Genesis 3.
medical advances, but these medical advances don't seem to be delivering people out of bondage as well as HIV. It's not going on.
Let's get a remnant because it's about saving the elect. Yeah.
Right, so what do you want?
A remnant or anything chooses on the elect.
Okay,
the
can't.
remnant. remnant.
I'm going to get Zechariah 13:8.
Isaiah 1. This Isaiah chapter 1 verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts and left unto us a very small remnant. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah
So that's another curse right there.
was destroyed by fire and brimstone. So the Lord always had a remnant, a small, select few of our people. Right now, the Lord is not looking to save all his people. There's a small few that he's looking to save right now.
So how are you living up in the curse as well?
See, you gotta stay focused on what we're talking
No,
about.
you have to stay focused.
So trying to
Because
cause confusion.
I got distracted by the
So trying to
European
cause
man that was standing here. He walked past me and went over there. Then I saw you watching this young one running
past.
around. No, she never walked past. She ran.
That's a Shuman boss. Is that wrong?
Well, I noticed the Eastern European, so is that one? And you noticed the European one, so it was
What's important is
observant.
this, man.
Go on.
Zechariah 13 verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts shall be cut thereof, shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and I will refine them as gold is refined. So let me read that again.
Yeah,
And I will
read
refine
that
them.
again, yeah.
But start again. And it shall come to pass in all the land, saith the Lord.
And it will come to pass something that will happen.
I've seen the atmosphere. Can you not see the state of
Listen,
look at the signs of it
listen.
all up here.
You gotta listen. You have to listen.
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. But the 3rd shall.
2 parts for people shall be cut off and dead.
But the 3rd part shall be left therein. I know.
2 parts shall be cut off and died, and the 3rd part shall be in. That's a very small amount of people, because like a lot of these people are going to get casted out. They don't want to survive. See it right now, and I'm not even brought up in this area. Look at it. Just trying to get it out.
You just want to know that your salvation is the same black man, Israelite.
So then find a good one.
Yeah, the one that knows he's an Israelite. That's aware of this knowledge. That's how you get saved from all of this. Because if you know anything, have you what else you said about the whole money system?
Monetary system.
We know that everything is becoming more digitalized now,
Yeah.
right? Swipe. They get rid of cash. They get rid of these things. Right?
That's why half of these businesses are.
HSBC, Barclays, NatWest, Santander, they're all shutting down ATMs.
So we're going to be a new capital going to get.
What I'm trying to say is that the time's going to come where they're going to try and make people to take all shit.
You know, I kind of got that because they've been doing it for women's fertility. So, I mean, animals, and so forth. And I think they've been talking about even to go to
That's
festivals.
what I'm trying to say. In order to participate in the new order of things, you're going to have to take that thing in your skin in your hand. That shit. Right?
Verse 13, 16.
But quickly now, because I didn't realise I was going to be here that long. Are you recording this, by the way?
I'll see.
Oh, okay.
Revelation 13 verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
But you know what? With this freedom class, they always shout at me and say, tap in! And I said to him, all I want to do is just show it, kind of. Go on.
You have to listen. You have to listen. Right. So what I'm trying to say is that your salvation depends upon the Israelite man. You have a man at the moment.
That's why I said, are you recording? I'm actually single.
Yeah, so if you believe in all these things, your only way out is through the Israelite man. You understand?
It's getting bad out here. There's very few. I would say very few. It's getting bad. I didn't say that the crackdown is just consecutively morning, afternoon, evening, and night. As the days get shorter. Don't you think the days are feeling like they're shorter as well? I mean, I'm in my 40s now, 41. Because those days, a lot of days don't feel like so that time when I was spiritually led to tell that I don't know. I think it's probably because the way in which I've seen it. I think, what type of enemy came to come and take you down? One that claimed that he was African, Moroccan. I said that spirit came from nowhere, so he was So where was he again? Okay, give me a suggested scripture to read, and then, you know what, Deuteronomy is something, there's like a little little child is crying, and I can't remember what the name is, Deuteronomy 28. There's something about Deuteronomy 28, just painful. Well, it's just a do you know that chapter? What is it about that passage? I'll see you Thursday. No, next Thursday.
Because she said for all the wrong reasons. She's looking for attention, she's looking for the truth. Should we go back to what we were talking before? You put out a good precept about Yahushai's coming. I don't know if you remember what it was, because I had a precept to look with that. Because you said, I can't remember how it goes, but something about him being the shepherd, that he's gonna, the appearing of our shepherd, and I had one to link with that. So if you can bring that out again, Baba Bashar, if you know where it is.
Verse 3 of 5, verse 4. When the chief shepherd shall appear, he shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Right, because the words that how Paul has said that his spirit is force.
This is John 10 and verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
Right. Good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Read that again.
This is John chapter 10 verse 11 again. It says, I am the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Can I read on? But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth, and scattereth the sheep.
You understand? So Yahweh Shai is that shepherd. And the shepherd taketh care of the sheep.
Yeah,
Right? And who are the sheep?
the elect.
The flock of his pasture, which are men. You know, a sister came up, and that shows you that a woman's mind is going in 7 different directions at the same time. You can't deal with it.
Full of words, man. Full of words.
Full of words and it's just parables, man. You can't deal with that shit. Right? Whenever a woman come up, you know, and that should be a learning curve for us and brothers that are watching. If the sister comes up, just stay in the scriptures, man. She's a demon.
Yeah.
You know, you can't control that motherfucker. Right?
Precepts, if I may.
This is Ezekiel 34, verse 30. Thus shall they know that I, Yahweh, their God, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord God. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. See, the flock of my pasture are men. So we represent sheep, like the men represent sheep. And Yahweh Shai represents that good shepherd. You understand? And see that? And the good shepherd, as it says, will give those very same sheep a crown that will never fade away. Because those sheep will follow the lamb
whithersoever he goeth.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah, follow him to the very end.
Where shall we go? To whom will we go? Thou hast the words of everlasting life. Got another precept when you're ready, yeah?
It says, Revelation 14,
That's exactly what I had.
verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb
Whithersoever he goeth.
These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. Right?